The NBA suffered the loss of the greatest basketball player of all time, and today we remember Bill Russell. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to The Fumble. I'm your host, Jackie Ray, or Jackie Ray TV if you want to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter. But before you do that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Now, there's always a debate about who the greatest of all time is in the NBA. Some people, like myself, will say LeBron James, others will say Kobe Bryant, and others will say Michael Jordan. But the truth is, those aren't really GOAT conversations. Those are who is our favorite conversation. Because there is one player who has every other GOAT prospect beat hands down, and that is Bill Russell. Bill Russell was born February 12, 1934, and in truth, he was going to have to fight against racism no matter where he played. But he ended up playing in what was, and still is, one of the most racist cities in the country, and that is Boston. There is no way I can tell you every vile and detestable racist act that was committed against Bill Russell when he was drafted to the Celtics in 1956, but trust me when I tell you the list is long. Of course, the NBA was in its infancy in 1956, so the push was to get more fans in the stands. So, the NBA took a survey of Boston residents and asked them what would make them come out to the Celtics games, and they said less black players. The racism that Bill Russell experienced was so bad that he very rarely felt safe, but there was one event that truly made him feel welcome. The residents of Reading, the suburb where Bill Russell lived, threw an honorary dinner for Bill Russell to thank him for putting the franchise on his back and making the Celtics relevant. It was the first time he felt welcomed, and he said he wanted to live in Reading for the rest of his life. But it was just a facade. Shortly after that, white residents of Reading broke into his home, destroyed trophies, took a dump in his bed, and spread human feces all over his walls. Now, for the life of me, I can't understand some of his dating practices or why he chose to stay in that city, but his reaction to fans after that was ice cold. And rightfully so, because it has to be difficult to trust a racist fan base that will cheer for you while you're on the court but hate you when you're off of it. In fact, Bill Russell was stopped for a routine traffic stop. That police officer had every intention of shooting him until he recognized who he was. Seems like the more things change, the more they stay the same, and although Boston hasn't changed much, Bill Russell clearly loved the fight on and off the court. From marching with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., standing up for Muhammad Ali, and boycotting a game in Kentucky after his black teammates were denied service in a coffee shop, Bill Russell was never afraid to call out racism. His commitment to making the world a better place, specifically for the black community, is why Michael Jordan will never make it into my GOAT debate. But long before LeBron James was a champion for change, Bill Russell was literally risking his life. And he had no shame and was fearlessly standing with those who were doing the same. All that aside, he literally is hands down the greatest NBA basketball player of all time. He won 2 NCAA championships, and in his 13 years of play, he won 11 titles. Not to mention he was a 5-time MVP and a 12-time All-Star. We can all take solace in knowing that players and fans across the league always showed Bill Russell his flowers every time he came to the arena. That's so important because although legends never die, they don't always walk among us. And Bill Russell passed away peacefully in his home in Seattle on July 31st, 2022. Rest in power, Bill Russell, and for your fight on and off the court, I would personally like to say thank you.